Hi everyone. Haven't done one of these in a little bit. Sorry I've been absent. Been busy. It's 11:10 p.m. Somebody once told me you never sleep, which is probably true. I do sleep, I just go to bed kind of late. Friday night, still working, and I wanted to record this. This is really overdue from last week. I think I wrote an article on my LinkedIn and my website's blog, but I wanted to record a video, give you guys a little more in-depth. If you follow me on social media, you know I sort of mix everything together because I think everything influences everything else. That even something as esoteric or as sort of broad as philosophy has a bearing on every layer that comes down from there all the way to the specifics of, for example, sending an email. Now, what am I talking about when I'm saying sending emails, and are they really free? I'm not necessarily talking emailing your friends, although that could also be something. Really, this bleeds over into what we share in social media as well. But also what I'm talking about here is mostly using email as a company to get some more repeat customers, to remind people that, hey, I'm here, remember I offer this service and whatnot. And so what we're talking about here is that basically not all your customers, not all your clients, not all your business associates or the people that you're trying to reach, maybe you're a coach or an author, not all of them are the same, right? And so they could be mapped out in a it's kind of like a skew curve, really. And did this marker already go out? I guess they did. Let's see if this one will work. So in a skew curve like that, where this is the x-axis and this is the y-axis. And so here you have a group of people that are, they're not very interested in whatever you're selling. They don't really want to hear from you too often. And then here you have another group of people that want to hear about you a little more often. And then here we have a group of people that want to hear, really pretty often. But then there's a spike up here where these section here are sort of at least hypothetically, the hyper responsive people, right? And when we talked about 80-20, that not all things, not all efforts, not all marketing, not all of your things that you do matter the same way. It's like you want to find those hinges that really open those doors. It's not very efficient to grab the door and have to carry it, right? It's better if you swing it, but the hinges have to be installed. They have to be in there, and they have to work, and they have to be nice and oiled. And only, maybe 2 hinges on 2 sides will be able to open maybe a really big door. So that's what we're looking for. And if you think about it, this is actually something that a lot of companies do. So an important little tip. I think it's here. Oh yeah, right here. Howard Schultz. He's the guy that started Starbucks. Okay. Now we sort of take Starbucks for granted. Here it is. But really, he really redefined what it was to have coffee. Not necessarily by changing too much, which by the way, I do like coffee. I don't drink too much of it, but I do. I'm actually in a mission these days to find a really nice coffee shop that I can hang out and get to know some people there, get to know like the employees and stuff, and maybe make it my spot. Who knows? But that's exactly what Howard Schultz did. He created this experience around coffee, right? And so he understands this very well. If you log into Starbucks website, they sell all kinds of things coffee related, just like in the store. You find mugs, and you even find like coffee makers and stuff. As a matter of fact, there is a $2,700 espresso machine in Starbucks.com. Now the question is, does anybody buy that? Well, I tell you, Howard Schultz is not a dummy. He knows that there is a hyper responsive customer right here that will spend the 2,700. And there might be another one over here that just spends, you know, the 250 on, you know, the one coffee, you know, once a week or something. So he knows that to treat this guy and this guy the same would not be a smart thing. Okay? So what does this have to do with emailing? Well, a lot of companies use email as a way, like I said, to communicate, to remind people, to maybe send out offers. And the temptation is always, if I have a list of 1,000 people, if I have a list of 5,000, 10,000, whatever that might be, well, it doesn't cost me anything. I'll just send it out to the whole list, okay? And so in theory, that seems like it would work. But there is a cost, and there's a cost of the annoying cost, okay? So you've seen when you get those emails by different companies, at the bottom you can click to unsubscribe, right? As a matter of fact, Apple makes it really nice and cool. They put a little link there. You can click and unsubscribe automatically. They'll send out an email and unsubscribe you. But even if they don't unsubscribe, the problem is that they'll mentally check out. They'll mentally, you're teaching them to ignore your emails. Okay? So the best thing to do is when you start accumulating some followers, some people, you want to start to segment those. And you want to be creative at segmenting them. Okay? So like for example me, and like I said, I'm not the greatest example of this. All the things that I talk about, I myself am working on. So I am a person who's not unifaceted. I'm multifaceted. So those of you that know me know that I love football. I know soccer. I love that. I play it all the time. As a matter of fact, I was just playing it tonight. Also, I have other interests as far as business, marketing, this stuff. Then I have other interests on, like for example, animals and biology and science. I really like that, the outdoors. And then I have other interests, one that's very close to my heart, which has to do with talking about depression and my personal journey through rebuilding myself sort of emotionally and all these things. As a matter of fact, I just put a post not too long ago about that. And so what I have done, since I do a lot of social media and I like to do like videos and things, so I am segmenting out those things in my life. So I might have a website for my digital marketing stuff, DM. And so on that, as a matter of fact, I already segmented out, and then I have an English version and a Spanish version. Okay? Then I have another list of football stuff, or I should say soccer. You guys might get confused. So soccer, and I have two little forums. I have one which is called Upper 90, which is a little, like a forum that I do with a friend, and we kind of do a debate back and forth. And then I have sort of one that I have a particular message to just, and it's just me, sort of a monologue a little bit. And it's talking about a specific team which I'm a fan of, which is Real Madrid. So I have that, and it's called Buenas noches Real Madrid, Madridistas. So good night Madridistas, or people who like Real Madrid. So there it is. And then I have another one for my depression stuff. Dealing with depression, dealing with these feelings of worthlessness, or what are some of the frameworks that I developed to deal with those kinds of things. And I'm sort of doing it in a very specific way. I'm not very like religious or spiritual in that way. So there's a lot of people who have like these kind of awakenings, which I respect. But me, it was more of a cerebral kind of, really thinking about things and trying to figure where everything came from, and then forgiving the people that needed to be forgiven. And anyways, that's a long tangent on this. But these are different things. So like, and that's sort of, and of course there's more things about me, right? But I can't expose my full list to like everything. So like right now, as we speak, I am working on segmenting out, and even within those segments, if they grow large enough, you want to treat them different, right? And so, for example, if I have a really interesting trip, I might send out an email to my list and say, hey, if you want to hear about my trip, click here, or put your email address here, and then you'll hear about it. And if you don't, then you won't hear about it. So you want to start doing this. Now, the implementation of this, talking about from the technology standpoint, may be a little complicated, no doubt about it. But again, 80-20. What is the 20% that I can do, that I can segment out my list, that would give me 80% of the results? Okay? So maybe it's just as simple as people who are prospects or people who are already giving you money. Don't send out the same email for all of them. So in this case, let's say the split is 800 people that have been kind of prospects, kind of around, but then 200 of them have actually given you money. Okay? Now I ask you, which group is more likely to give you more money? The 800, since there are more, or the 200 that are already giving you money? The 200, right? The people that already give you money are probably going to give you more money. Now, this is not only talking about business. Like I said, if you're an author, if you're a coach, if you are a motivational speaker, if you're a nonprofit organization and we're talking about donations, or we're talking about signs up for when you sign up for a newsletter, right? Again, and then the power of segmenting is twofold, or really maybe more than that, right? Because not only are you not treating everybody the same, and not only are you not annoying the people that you don't need to annoy, or training them to ignore your message, or having them mentally unsubscribe, but rather you can tailor the message to the people that you're actually talking to, right? So if I have a series of emails, so when somebody signs up for a little opt-in thing on my webpage, I have a series of follow-up emails that are automatically sent out. Sometimes I type it myself, but I'm sort of building that, automatization, so I don't have to do it myself. And basically, what one of those things says is like, "Do you hate me?" For example, if they haven't really, maybe scheduled a call, they completed a purchase like they wanted them to. And so, but I can't say, "Do you hate me?" to the people that have given me money, right? Because they don't hate me; they love me, right? So that's sort of the idea. You don't want to train people, associate. And what I did is I wrote in the article talking about Ivan Pavlov, and if you've heard of Ivan Pavlov, and if it rings a bell, is because of the Pavlov's dogs, his dogs that he conditioned to salivate at the ringing of a bell, right? He actually got the Nobel Prize for that, basically discovering branding in 1904, I believe. And so that is essentially what we're doing. We're creating this associative memories between us, our product, our service, our content, and the response that we get. So if my videos were about a pitch, like, okay, you gotta buy from me, here's my offer, here's what I offer, this is how much it is, buy now, the first 5 that sign up, they also get to have ice cream with me or something. So, and that gets old after a while. Every time you pitch, you are in a way subtracting from that emotional bank account. If you guys have read the book, Seven Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, he talks about the concept of the emotional bank account, that you have to deposit a lot of that goodwill in people, and then you can make a withdrawal if you need to. But if you keep making withdrawals, then we point that there's no more money or not more balance left, and then they just don't want you in their life, right? So we want to create these associative memories of, I think a good ratio is 80% content and then 20% pitch. I think that's pretty good. It's better to do more, like 90-10 or 95-5, because again, you want to we're really, and if it's funny, I find myself talking about this all the time with clients, with prospects, with people that I meet. We are really in a different economy. We're different. We're in a different world. We're in a world that is getting smaller and smaller, and that it's basically more like a small town. Everybody knows each other's business. Everybody knows what, it's like a small town. You have to behave because everybody knows what time you come home, right? Or somebody goes inside your house with you, right? Who you spending more time than you usually spend. Everybody knows it. Like think about United Airlines and that incident that happened on the plane, and then everything being recorded and just gone viral. The world is getting really small. So the police, we're sort of policing each other because everybody's watching. So now more than ever, I mean, really it should have always been this way, right? But now more than ever, the best way to come across as honest is to be honest as a company, as individuals, as organizations. The best way to come across as loyal is to be loyal. And that's just the nature of it. And these kinds of principles really outdo any kind of gimmick, technology, something really clever and savvy. Really, in the end, is, well, how much are you contributing, and how are you contributing, and to who are you contributing, and you're gonna get that value back. And so that's why I thought it was very important to do, to segment out things that, I went through a lot of really dark times in depression and things like that. And as a matter of fact, I had something not too long ago happen that would hurt me deeply, and I was kind of scared because I didn't know how I was gonna react if I was gonna do really bad and everything. And it seems like those things really have nothing to do with maybe the other kinds of businesses that I do or the other kinds of consulting, but it really does, because it's all part of who I am. It's all part of how I see the world and what kinds of things I can contribute. And so I figured that shutting that part out of myself would be a waste, and I think maybe more people would benefit from those things. But again, I can't expose my whole list, my whole group of friends to the same thing. So how can I do that? Segmentation, segmentation, segmentation. Even though it's free to record a video, to put out a tweet, to put a status, you wanna segment. Now you can even segment your friends out on Facebook. I have quite a bit of friends. I have like 3,600 friends or something. So it'll take some work to segment that out. But maybe I'll find it that that's something that I need to do soon. So don't treat everyone the same. Focus on your hyper-responsive people and follow the lead of Mr. Howard Schultz. Think about the airlines. Airlines have coach tickets, for $300, and they have, $10,000 cross, transatlantic flights in first class. Why do they do that? Why do hotels have executive and presidential suites that cost a lot more and have these amenities, and then just the regular old, cheap suites? Because they understand that curve. They understand that not everybody is the same, and if they can't cater to all these different segments, they are going to make the best. But they have to have the product available. It doesn't mean if you're a coffee shop, kind of like Starbucks, and all you sell is coffee, and then you have the medium, small, and large, then that's all you're gonna get. Nobody's gonna come in and ask, do you happen to have a espresso machine for $2,700? But the reason that they have all those different products is because there will be somebody that will buy the coffee and the cappuccino for maybe 3 or 4 cappuccinos for the people in the office, and go ahead and gets a mug because he knows his wife would maybe lost hers or left her somewhere. That's a different type of ticket than somebody else. But if I don't have those options available to my potentials, then I don't get to take advantage of that. So don't treat everyone the same. Sending emails is not free, so use it wisely. You don't like to get annoyed by annoying emails. If you want to get some specific feedback on exactly how the technology works, it depends on if you're using a CRM or autoresponder, if you're doing like this type of stuff like manually, like spreadsheets and just email. But it would be really good to taper out emails. So for example, and I'll just close with this real quick, just to give you guys a quick example. So like let's say they buy product 1, okay, and then product 1 has a certain sequence of emails, because maybe there's a lot of stuff about product 1, maybe how to use it, maybe insurance for it, I mean, you name it, right? And so you have a series of emails that can go from smaller increments to longer and spaced out like that. But maybe the same customer also buys product 3 or something. So there's another autoresponder that also follows them, right? And then it would be cool to stagger this. Sometimes you can't manage it, but sometimes it'd be cool so they don't get an email the same day for both things. I really need to get a different marker than this. They don't get an email every day. I mean, too many emails on the same day. That's what you want. And so the more interested they are, the farther they up the curve, the more content they'll want, because that's what they want. They're showing they're voting with their feet that they're more interested. Now somebody that just buys one product will just get one line of autoresponders, and then it will taper out, and then they won't hear from you again. So maybe there are some people on your list that they only want to hear from you once a quarter or once every 6 months, and that's okay. You want to give them that. Sometimes you'll see that there are people who move through, but it takes them a little bit to move through, to warm them up. This is why when we do Facebook advertising, one of the things that I advocate to do a lot is like campaigns. And I have clients and I have other people that say, well, Gabe, likes don't represent anything to my business. Well, of course they don't, because likes are not putting money in your pocket. But it is the smallest commitment that you can get somebody to do, and then you start building a nice warm audience. There's other side perks which I'm not going to tell you about, but that's very important. You get that little, just you meet that girl and you meet that guy and you're like, well, how about coffee sometime? And then they say, yeah, I mean, you're not even putting a date, you're not even saying, you have to, or are you free tomorrow, what's your phone number? This is lots of steps before that. If they even agree to the idea, the possibility that at one time you might get coffee with them. And if she or he says yes, well, then there's a possibility of something else. So small commitments at the beginning. Now, don't treat everyone the same. All right, this will be up on my website. Check out the other, I find that people have a hard time finding some of these on Facebook. So hop over to my website, gabebautista.com, under blog, or gabebautista.com/blog. And you can find all the series of videos that I do, and then you can leave some comments there, and I'll get to those as well. So thanks everybody. Haven't seen you all in a while. I'm going to be recording some other videos now, actually, right as soon as I'm done with this one, for my website, some funnels that I'm working on. So stay tuned for all the different things, and reach out to me. I've some people reaching out to me about their e-commerce stores and different things like that. So don't hesitate to do it. If I can help you in any way, I will sure as heck try to do that, because I want to give back, and it's fun. It's fun. You get to solve different problems, meet different people. See you guys later. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.